More than 1,500 years ago, when much of the world was still developing its centers of learning, Bharat was home to one of history's greatest universities. Its name was Nalanda. Nalanda flourished during the Gupta period and gradually became one of the most respected centers of knowledge in Asia. Scholars traveled from China, Korea, Tibet, and Southeast Asia, crossing mountains and deserts in search of knowledge. At its height, nearly 10,000 students studied here under some of the greatest scholars of the ancient world. More than 2,000 teachers instructed students in philosophy, astronomy, medicine, mathematics, and grammar. Admission to Nalanda was not easy. Aspiring students had to demonstrate their knowledge before they could enter this renowned university. From sunrise until sunset, students attended lectures, debated ideas, copied manuscripts, and practiced meditation. Nalanda offered education in philosophy, logic, grammar, astronomy, mathematics, medicine, and many other disciplines. Nalanda's famous library, Dharma Ganja, preserved an extraordinary collection of manuscripts and attracted scholars from across Asia. For centuries, Nalanda inspired generations of scholars and became a symbol of Bharat's intellectual excellence. In the 7th century, a young monk from China crossed deserts, mountains, and kingdoms to reach the world's greatest university. Xuanzang spent nearly 17 years traveling across India, studying, collecting manuscripts, and documenting its rich traditions. At Nalanda, Xuanzang became the student of the renowned scholar Silabhadra, one of the greatest teachers of his time. Xuanzang studied thousands of manuscripts and carefully copied many texts that would later preserve India's intellectual heritage. Thanks to Xuanzang's writings, the story of Nalanda reached generations far beyond the borders of Bharat. Nearly 3 decades after Xuanzang, another Chinese monk named Yijing arrived at Nalanda. He spent years studying and recorded the university's daily life in remarkable detail. Every morning began before sunrise. Bells echoed across the campus as monks and students gathered for prayers before their lessons. Debate was at the heart of Nalanda. Students challenged ideas, questioned teachers, and sharpened their minds through discussion. Nalanda was one of the world's earliest residential universities. Students lived, studied, and shared knowledge together inside the campus. For centuries, Nalanda stood as one of the greatest centers of learning anywhere in the world, inspiring generations of scholars. Nalanda's famous library complex was known as Dharma Ganja, or the Treasury of Truth. It became one of the greatest centers of knowledge in the ancient world. Its shelves held countless palm leaf manuscripts on philosophy, medicine, astronomy, mathematics, grammar, and many other fields of study. Students observed the stars, studied planetary movements, and explored astronomy alongside philosophy and mathematics. Medicine was another important subject. Students learned Ayurveda through herbs, diagnosis, and practical treatment. Nalanda welcomed students from many lands, becoming a meeting place for cultures, ideas, and knowledge across Asia. For centuries, Nalanda flourished. But as kingdoms changed and invasions reshaped northern India, the university entered a period of uncertainty. Around the end of the 12th century, Nalanda was attacked during military campaigns in the region. The university suffered devastating destruction. Countless manuscripts and generations of scholarship were lost. The destruction marked the end of one of the ancient world's greatest centers of learning. The great classrooms fell silent. Over time, the once thriving university became a forgotten ruin, hidden beneath the earth for centuries. Archaeologists uncovered Nalanda's ruins, revealing the scale of one of history's greatest universities. Today, it stands as a UNESCO World Heritage Site and a lasting symbol of India's intellectual legacy. For centuries, Nalanda lay hidden beneath layers of earth. In the 19th century, archaeologists began uncovering one of the world's greatest lost universities. Today, the ruins of Nalanda are recognized as a UNESCO World Heritage Site, preserving the memory of one of humanity's greatest centers of learning. Inspired by its remarkable past, a modern Nalanda University was established to continue the spirit of international learning. Nalanda was more than a university. It represented curiosity, debate, and the pursuit of knowledge without borders. From the classrooms of Nalanda, ideas traveled across Asia and influenced generations of scholars. Its legacy remains one of Bharat's greatest contributions to world history. Nalanda welcomed students from across Asia, making it one of the world's earliest truly international universities. Nalanda reminds us that India's greatest strength has always been its pursuit of knowledge, debate, and discovery. Though the university fell centuries ago, its ideas continue to inspire students, historians, and researchers around the world. Nalanda stands as one of Bharat's greatest contributions to the history of education and the exchange of ideas across Asia. Nalanda was not alone. Long before it, another legendary university shaped some of history's greatest minds. In our next episode, we journey to Takshashila, the university associated with Chanakya, medicine, politics, and ancient learning. Subscribe to continue exploring the forgotten stories of Bharat.